Hi, this is Jim from Jim's Grand Adventure. In this episode, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I've been watching on YouTube and various other sites reviews from the famous TSR's Star Frontiers game. Now, we bought this game years and years ago, me and my group, and we didn't do a lot of research on it. We were at the time playing a lot of D&D. We wanted a little something different. So we were going to try a science fiction game. And so we bought this, TSR, thinking it's going to be a lot like Dungeons and Dragons. Well, it has its own system, own classes, so on and so forth. But it was a very playable game. Nothing wrong with any of the other parts of the game. It's just not what we were looking for. So one of the things that we didn't like was the setting itself. Heretic! Next thing we didn't like was the vertically aligned ships. Heretic! We didn't really care too much for the alien races, and there was an awful lack of no alien races in the game besides the player character races. Heresy! The one thing we did like the Drolocites. And the Sathar was not something else that we liked. Heresy! Once again, I'd like to state that there's nothing wrong with the Star Frontiers game the way it is. It just wasn't what we were looking for. I'm sure there's other people out there who also have done the same thing that we have. So please don't be offended and take this as an insult to the game as it is. It's just our version of it. Star Frontiers is a game published back in the 1980s by TSR. It's a science fiction game, and it has its own system and worlds, and all in all, a very excellent and well-respected game. I would also like to thank I.L. Jackson, a very talented artist that I met on DeviantArt, for allowing me to use a lot of his artwork for this video project. Check him out. Please check out his art at darklorddc.deviantart.com. You won't be disappointed. The VAR, the bad guys, a highly advanced conquering race of humanoids. The Gates, a highly advanced network of jump points built by the VAR. These allow ships to travel billions of miles across space in a matter of hours or days. VAR Tech, technology hundreds of years more advanced than any other spacefaring culture, only metered out to those most loyal to the VAR themselves. Genetic engineering. The VAR have become experts at genetic engineering to the point that they can custom make life forms to inhabit any worlds that they control. It is interesting to see how these constructed life forms interact with the natural life forms across the galaxy. Robotics. The VAR have created super robots that are far more advanced than anything in the known galaxy. They are their servants and warriors, and one of their most feared weapons in their oppression of others. The VAR and human wars. Eventually, the humans had had enough of the VAR oppression and united and attacked and conquered the VAR. They were left in shambles with just the bare minimum of their empire left. Within a year, the humans, being humans, began to fight themselves until a peace treaty was obtained where there were 3 factions left. The factions. The League of Human Worlds. These humans were the most loyal to the VAR. They also led the war against the VAR, using a lot of the equipment given to them by the VAR. They have become an isolationist group and very rarely leave their own sector of space, preferring to keep their technology to themselves. The Free Confederation. These worlds were the hardest hit during the wars. Mainly human-occupied worlds, they have formed a confederation of planets that are individually governed. They work in conjunction with each other under trade agreements and the like. These are the worlds of the explorers and merchants. They are the ones who, for the most part, have ventured out into the unknown parts of space. The new planetary union. These planets were the most industrialized of the human worlds. They produced much of the military hardware used by the humans in the wars. After the war, there was a mad dash by many military leaders to take over these worlds and set up their own petty empires. Eventually, one grand leader came to rule them all. The people lead an endless life of poverty and crime. Only the most ruthless and toughest survive here. The grand leader sows chaos and distrust all through the known galaxy to stay in power. Most of the world's resources are quickly being depleted, causing the NPU to make a lot of effort in the frontier for new worlds to exploit. Exploration. In an extreme effort of revenge, the VAR destroyed almost all records of space beyond the human worlds. Untold riches and technology can be found to those brave enough to challenge the void of space. The VAR's revenge was brutal. Many of these worlds were serviced purely by the VAR, and when the war was over, they were left to die. The three human factions have chopped up this void of space into three separate sectors. Each faction is free to explore in that sector. Ruins, new alien life forms, raw materials, wrecks, lost worlds, rescue people, bodyguarding, security duties, all of these people can use to make a fortune in these regions. Lost worlds. These worlds, once beautifully inhabited places, were left to die by the retreating VAR. Secret sites of high technology, left or hidden, remain in these places. Wonders never seen by human eyes are often found here. Ancient temples left by long-dead cultures. Strange sites of ancient phenomenon. Some of these worlds have even prospered and survived without the help of the VAR. They have become bastions of hope and graveyards to others. Hazards of the frontier. In these lawless sectors, danger still prevails. Piracy and slavery abound. A perfect place for criminals on the run to hide. Make sure that your ship is in good order, because out here, the slightest little damage or ill repair can mean instant death. The races we use. Our games are basically miniature-driven games. We used readily available miniatures to represent races we created. These were purchased through several different companies, and some were even 3D printed. We found it really added to the game to add our own races, cultures, and technologies. Pictures of our game. In closing, here are some actual pictures of our Star Frontiers game we've played over the years. You can also see pictures of the multi-purpose terrain in use from Episode 3.